Morning all, welcome back to another Taylor's Wildlife Photography video. Now this is going to be done in several parts. Well, I say several parts, I'm going to do it in several parts, you're going to see one video. And the reason for that is mainly because I made a rookie mistake. I've been out already once, took some photos and footage on a day that was lovely. See, it's not so lovely today. Great light, good photos. And I forgot to download my cards off my SD cards and all the files are corrupted, so I've lost everything. Anyway, you live in your lane. So as you'll know, we're out today looking for woodpecker nests. I'm sure if you've already seen the title, spoiler alert, you'll know what we're doing. And there's a few surefire ways to find them really. So firstly and most importantly is you need to be in a place where there's woodpeckers. I mean, I know it goes without saying, but you need to have had some sign. So this particular area, I know there's woodpeckers, and if you follow me on my socials, you'll see that I was here at 5 o'clock in the morning videoing the male woodpeckers communicating to one another and tapping on trees. So that's one of the things. Listen, you know, they have a really distinctive call. I'll put that up now. The other thing you need to look for is holes. So if you're looking in old trees, dead trees, you'll often find lots of sign of woodpeckers, holes, old nests, places that have been foraging for insects. And then thirdly, and most importantly, is the calls. So unlike other chicks, woodpecker chicks are voracious feeders. I mean, they all are, but they constantly beg. So you'll hear them in this video hopefully when I get set up at the nest. They constantly chirp, 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 chirp. And the only reason that changes is when the males or females come to feed them, and then it just gets louder. It's quite incredible really. How they don't get predated on more, I don't know. But anyway, come with me. Come sit at a woodpecker nest and see what we can find. So here's some sign now, guys. So one of the things I was referring to is old trees, and you can often see lots of little holes where they've been digging for insects and bugs and grubs. You can also find old holes. Let me just turn you around, I'll show you what I mean. So here's a dead tree. Now I have on numerous occasions have seen woodpeckers digging around on this. Wouldn't it be great if one just flew in? Not to be today, but I will put some footage up now of, and you've probably already seen it, of lots of sign of woodpeckers that I've recorded and photographed over the time, if it's not on the on my corrupted files, that is. You know, and they're often in really healthy looking trees, but you can just see the tiny little holes. Looks like somebody's been drilling at them really. Incredible feat of engineering, the woodpecker. Now if you or I were to put a cone on our heads and bash away at a tree like that, I'm sure we'd end up with brain damage. You know, we'd end up with concussion at the very least. Not the woodpecker. Woodpeckers are incredible. I'm not really sure 100% how there's a few theories on how they do it. One of them is that there's a reduction of space between the skull and the brain, so there's less chance of it rattling around and causing concussion. There's a few things that you read about the tongue. There's an old myth about a tongue wrapping around the skull and reducing the space so you don't get concussion again. There's some sort of physics and science about, you know, that because of the reduction in mass, the smaller the mass, the force isn't enough to cause them damage. I mean, I don't really believe that. If you had a blue tit sat there bashing its head on a tree, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't do very well with it, would it? But just incredible birds. Look at the view. Isn't that awesome? Now that screams green woodpecker to me. It's on my to-do list. I know they're here. I've got friends that have seen them, and I believe I've seen them myself. I've never had a chance to document it, but incredible little bird. But that's not what we're after today. We're after the great spotted. So I'm pretty sure you've already seen that on the intro. Dendrocopus major. Lovely little bird, quite common really, but incredible to see. So one of those birds that not many people see them. I don't think people are looking for them. But if you spend a little time listening and looking, they're all over. They're all over in this particular wood. As I say, and I think I may have already mentioned it, excuse me for flipping you around. Got a dead arm from the tripod. I know of at least 3 nests here, and one of them, would you believe, is sat right next to a kestrel's nest. And when I say right next to, I do mean it's the next but one tree across. So hopefully, if the weather holds out and the kestrels play ball, we might get some of those as well. I'll flip you around and I'll tell you why I'm saying about the weather. Because it looks awful. And as you all know, I rock an old camera, which isn't very waterproof. So I've got some waterproof covers, I've got some camo on, and I'm going to be stood in the woods, so hopefully the weather holds out. If not, and the next thing you see of me is a really sunny day, then you know we failed. Bring it back in a bit. So I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I can hear the chicks calling. Walk a little bit closer, see if you can hear it, and then we'll back off. So you probably can't hear it because of the wind, but they're so persistent. So I'm still at the first nest, guys, and I've just moved back a little bit. I've been here 5 minutes. I've not seen the adults come in and feed yet. But then I've talked to a few people, so I could have missed it. I don't know how successful I'm going to be on this first nest. The chicks are there, I can hear them calling. But I think the adults know I'm here, so I'm going to give it a few minutes. If they're not come back in 5 minutes, that's 10 minutes up, and then I'm going to disappear to another nest. Try and be a bit more discreet. I'll show you what I'm looking at. So I don't know if you can see, the nest is just behind those leaves there. And the wind blows and clears, you'll just be able to see it. Anyway, wish me luck. One blurry shot of a woodpecker at the nest later, and I'm moving. Nest 1, fail. So I've just found a blue tit nest in the crack of a branch in an old oak tree. I think he spotted me, so I might not get any footage of the blue tit, but I will show you where it is. Just in that crack of the branch there. I do find it incredible how these small birds squeeze through those holes and cracks in the trees to nest. I have got some footage of this. I think it's poor, so what I'll do is I'll put a little clip up now of my last video. Well, last video, I haven't edited it yet. But my last video, so you can see what I mean about the size of the holes. They're absolutely tiny. This one is just a crack in a branch in an oak tree, and the blue tit's nested in there. The back and forth, but as you can see, it's so dark, I can't get a good shot, unfortunately. The ISO's too high. So guys, I'm at the second woodpecker nest. Now, I'm hoping they're still here, because the last time I was here, they weren't far off ready for fledging. I'll show you that footage now while I get set up. Now then guys, I'm out in the woods, in the rain, but it's worth it. I'm just sat at a woodpecker nest that I've been watching for some time. And the young are about ready to fledge. You see the juvenile with the big red skull cap, and the parents are sitting outside calling it. They're not going in to feed them anymore. Trying to tempt them out. Let's see if we've got some decent footage. So close to fledging, it's incredible. I don't know if I got that on film, but I so hope I did. See the juvenile with the big red skull cap, and the female was there then feeding him, and you can hear she's trying to call him out. Yes. So apologies for that poor footage then, guys, but the last time I was here I didn't have a camera and it was silencing it down. I'm sure you heard. Now I don't actually know if these woodpeckers are still here. So the last time we was here, the parents were back and forth tempting them. They were trying to sort of tease them out of the hole, I think. Now the woodpeckers were the juveniles were quite well grown. That typical red skull cap. No, I'm not sure if they're here because I can't hear them calling and chirping. So I'll post up for an hour, and if there's no activity, then I think we've missed them. I thought I heard them around, sort of making a begging call, but I can't find them. I will come back another day. It's miserable today, it's wet. They may just be hunkered down. You know, they're big enough to go a bit longer without a feed. But I've been here 40 minutes, an hour, and I've seen nothing. And I would have suspected they'd have been back by now. And whilst we're on the subject of nests, and I can talk a bit because I'm not going to disturb them. The woodpecker nests, I don't know if you can see on the camera, the new nests have that clean bit around the edge of the bottom. Now you tend to find the old nests are used by other birds, so they tend to put mud around the edge to narrow the entrance. Sorry, I'm still looking. They narrow the entrance down a little bit so that nothing can get and predate the young. Now woodpeckers tend to use new nests. They don't really use old nests over and over again. So you'll see you'll find that they often use the same tree, but not the same nest. So I'll pop up some footage now of the tree in front of me, and you'll see there's 2 or 3 old nests around the other side. Could easily been used, but haven't, and I'm not quite sure why they do that, but they do. So we're back at nest 1, guys, and I've just got some shots of the female feeding the chicks. Now interestingly, I think this is a young brood, because typically when they're a bit older they start to poke their heads out the hole for food, because the parents can't get in. Now she didn't go in the nest, but they certainly didn't poke their heads out either. I hope they turn out okay. I think they're going to be a bit grainy because we're working with low shutter speeds and high ISOs. So once again, guys, defeated by the rain. We did get some footage and some pictures on this occasion. We are going to come out back again, so don't go anywhere. This isn't the end of the video. Hopefully next time there'll be some sun and woodpeckers. We'll get some good pictures. You can probably tell, guys, but I'm back in the woods at the woodpecker nest. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but what I've done is I've set my camera up. I think I'm spooking the adults a little bit, so I've set my camera up and I've set it to record, and I've left it. Not like it's an expensive piece of kit or whatever. I'm just behind a couple of oak trees, or beech tree even, in the hope that the adults will come back and feed the young. And if they don't, then I'm hoping the young will poke their head out of that nest so we can record them a little bit. But I hope you can hear that. Chirp, 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 chirp. Not the prettiest bird call I've ever heard. number 3, guys. So this one's very different. This one's a lot later in its maturity, and you can hear the adults now. Now they're not calling at me, they're calling at the chick. They're trying to get it to come out of the hole and fledge, and it's quite a big chick. I do hope I've got some footage of it poking its head out. The woodpeckers are now quite a distinctive call, and you can probably hear it now. It's a constant chirp, 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 chirp. Like I say, they were doing this well before I was here, so they're not trying to warn the chicks. They're trying to get them to come out. So the parents just caved in, guys, and fed them. I think it was a female flew in, fed the chicks in the nest. I think they got fed up of calling them, so maybe they won't fledge. Like most kids there, why would they? Well, you're still feeding them and housing them. Now guys, that's us for the day. Packing up, lots of dog walks around, so I've got what I've got. Good footage, been a good day and a bad day. I don't know if you eagle-eyed people there can spot, but I broke my gimbal head, dropped it, packing away, snapped the arm, so anyway, it is what it is there. Win some, lose some, at least I didn't drop the camera. So if you liked anything at all, well you didn't, but you made it to the end, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up, subscribe, even a comment to tell me what I need to do better next time. Other than that guys, on to the next.